Thank you, President Hawkins, and most of all, thank you for your decades of service and tremendous leadership of this great university, along with assembling the best of the best in the university's board of directors, renowned faculty, and impressive staff. The trajectory of Bellevue University has been and will continue to be phenomenal. Thank you to all of you. A very special appreciation to the men and women in our armed forces with us today. Thank you for keeping us safe. Prayers for all of you. And most importantly, the honorees, the graduates, and their families and friends. I'm extremely humbled to be with you today, a day to celebrate you and this tremendous milestone on your journey. All of you arrived here today on your own unique path. One thing I know is you took a leap of faith in order to do this. It wasn't easy at times, and sacrifices challenged you. But let me tell you this, the dividends will continue to pay out for the rest of your life. Knowledge is power. I'm going to be a little philosophical today. I know you thought that was over with. Seriously, along my life journey, I've discovered a winning philosophy that seems to work. Regardless if I'm in Niagara Falls, New York, Los Angeles, California, or Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Whether I'm working with a corporate CEO, a single mom who's bound and determined to build a better life for her children, or launching a pro volleyball franchise. Today, I want to share 3 key points to that philosophy with you. Guy Dowd said, "We are who we are because of what we've come to believe about ourselves." So what do you believe about you? The cornerstone of this philosophy, number 1, is belief. Tom Jackson, in his book, Guerrilla Tactics in the Market, determined that we see life through 2 paradigms, just 2. The first paradigm is, this is the way it is. As I relate this to pro volleyball and the supernovas, looking through the lens of this paradigm, we would have said, we only have 6 months to put together a franchise and compete in a 16,000-seat arena. That's not enough time. We're setting ourselves up for failure. It'll never work. This is the way it is. Instead, we chose to live in Tom Jackson's second paradigm, a paradigm of this is the way it can be. Our belief was, wow, the opportunity to bring professional volleyball to the United States. We'll tap into our connections, assemble a talented team, and together we'll make history. This is the way it can be. 2 choices in life. This is the way it is, or this is the way it can be. The philosopher von Goethe said, look at a man the way he is, and he only becomes worse. Look at him the way he could be, and he becomes what he should be. Relating to this to all of you as graduates today, you could operate from that first paradigm of this is the way it is. You would say, wow, it seems like everyone has it figured out. I don't have clarity in my future. It's hard for me to celebrate when I don't know what's next. For me, that's just the way it is. I know all of you will leave here today in that second paradigm of this is the way it can be. You would state, it seems like everyone has it figured out. This university have given us such a leg up on our career trajectory. I know if I leverage my network, the opportunities will give me clarity. And with this diploma that I'll soon receive in hand, the world is my oyster, because this is the way it can be. In Greek mythology, there was a sculptor named Pygmalion. Pygmalion sculpted this beautiful female statue. He believed in her so much that the Greek gods smiled down on Pygmalion and brought her to life. Thus is born the Pygmalion effect. You get what you expect. the interpersonal expectancy theory. Granted, it's accompanied with hard work and perseverance, etc. With that said, just watch and listen. You'll see this all the time. And sport is the perfect arena because there's measurable outcome. Here's an example from my life. Upon the retirement of Hall of Fame coach Terry Pettit in 2000, John Cook took over as the head coach of Nebraska volleyball. He brought me in as his director of operations, all new assistant coaches, and an entire new staff. Coach Pettit met with us as he handed over the reins regarding the team that we would be inheriting. He framed it this way: for the 2000 season, you'll sit your best player and future Olympian, Nancy Maindring Metcalf. Due to her time with the national team, we need to rest her shoulder. You'll bring her back for the 2001 season, along with 3 sophomores who will gain another year of experience. You'll be positioned to win the national championship in 2001. Plus, the 3 seniors this year won't be big contributors, and they will have graduated. The directive he gave us: run this season as if it's your dress rehearsal to win the national championship in 2001. And so, we did. We ran it as if it was a full dress rehearsal. What makes this interesting is we failed to tell the team it was a dress rehearsal. They thought it was real. So how'd they do? They went on to win the national championship, and only the second team in NCAA history to go undefeated at 34-0, with our best player on the bench. Those 3 sophomores who supposedly needed more experience were all named first-team All-Americans. And those 3 seniors, who are not supposed to be big contributors, may arguably have been the best captains in Nebraska volleyball history. They expected to win, and they believed it to their core in what could be. Thus, the Pygmalion effect. You get what you expect. It was Oliver Wendell Holmes that stated, once the mind has been expanded by a new idea or concept, it will never be satisfied by going back to where it was. Number 1, belief. Believe it to your core. Believe in that can-be paradigm. The second aspect of this philosophy was something I learned from one of my favorite mentors, Boyd Epley. The second one is the great ones adjust. As we launched the Supernovas, I told our staff from day 1, and we reiterated it every day, we're building this airplane while we're flying it. What's the first thing a flight attendant tells you during her safety announcement prior to taking off on an airplane? Fasten your seatbelts in case you encounter unexpected turbulence. In the days, months, and years ahead, you're going to experience some unexpected turbulence. And remember, the great ones adjust. Many of you remember Blockbuster, yes? Some of you remember Blockbuster way back when? For those of you that don't, the young ones in the crowd, in the 90s and early 2000s, this is where you would go to rent videos to watch movies in your home. I know, archaic. In 1997, there were 2 young men, Mark Randolph and Reed Hastings, who started a company called Netflix, a company that would actually mail the videos you selected to your home, guaranteeing you would have the movie you wanted every single week, and then you'd simply mail it back. In 2000, although they were not profitable, yet believing in their company and the process so much, they decided to pitch it to Blockbuster and offer it to sell it to them. They met with Blockbuster's executives and pitched selling their not profitable yet company to them for $50 million. The Blockbuster executives literally laughed them out of the room. And as Mark Randolph states, if you're not willing to disrupt yourself, there will always be someone willing to disrupt your business for you. So the great ones adjust. And adjust they did, embracing the fact that when you're uncomfortable is when you grow. They decided to go all in on a new technology service that would allow people to start streaming the movies into their home. And the rest is history. Today, Netflix is valued at over $150 billion. $150 billion. And Blockbuster went from 9,000 stores nationwide to 1. Bertie Einstein stated, "The measure of one's intelligence is the ability to change." The great ones adjust, and they adjust because they have an anchor. They have a why. Mark Twain stated, "The two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why." So what's your why? There's one aspect of this philosophy that seems to be consistent in all elements of success, which brings us to number 3. It's not about you. Dean Smith, the godfather of North Carolina basketball, stated it best, "My job as a coach and a leader is to help them embrace the fact that they're part of something much bigger than themselves." One of the best examples was several years back. We were hosting an event in Kansas City, and our honoree was former Kansas City Chief Will Shields. We're having a Q&A with him, and a young 9-year-old boy says, "Mr. Shields, what was your proudest moment in your life?" You know, the audience is thinking, wow, I wonder if it's one of the 11 times he was a Pro Bowler, or maybe when he was NFL Man of the Year. Will immediately responded, "My proudest moment was when I was in college and I played football for the Huskers. I had a deaf teammate, Kenny Walker. My proudest moment is when Kenny Walker made his first big play. And all 76,000 fans stood up and did the silent cheer." For Will Shields, it wasn't about him and it wasn't about his accolades. It was about his teammate. The most successful people, teams, companies have this selfless focus on making each other great. Their family, their company, and their relationships. One of the best examples of this happened right here on this campus this year. Your head volleyball coach, Trish Sedlick, who I've known since she was a college player. I'm admitting how old I am. She took her team on an amazing journey this year. But to understand the breadth of this journey, you have to go back 2 years. In describing this to me, she said, 2 years ago, I came to the point that she realized the program was heading in the wrong direction, and it needed a big cultural shift. She literally had to put her ego aside. And when you do that, you embrace the fact it's not about you. Coach Sedlick pulled in people she trusted, like President Hawkins and others, and made some really hard decisions. Like the great ones, she had to adjust. She placed her complete focus on the student athletes she was entrusted with. As she said to me, "There's someone's daughter that I have for a short while." She had a group of sophomores who helped orchestrate this cultural shift and stuck with her for 4 years. That's a rarity in college athletics these days. All together, they went on a journey of growth to build a culture of unconditional trust in each other with a united focus on their belief of what can be. When you take a team to that trust level, you unleash them to accomplish things that they've never dreamt of. A leader's responsibility is to take those they're entrusted with to a place they've never been before. Coach Sedlick led this group of women hand in hand to the NAIA National Championship match, where they took on the defending national champions and they took them to the brink, falling to them in the fifth and final set. 2 years ago, Coach Sedlick and this group of seniors that stuck together believed in what can be. They adjusted like the great ones do, and they cast their self-interest aside and played for each other. They overachieved and made it to the pinnacle of their sport. No, it wasn't the outcome they wanted. But what I do know is when you win at the highest levels, what you remember the most is the journey and who was on this road with you. Tomorrow, you begin a new journey with a diploma that you'll soon receive in your hands. Just as those seniors trusted Coach Sedlick, you have trusted Bellevue University, this faculty and staff. You've invested in them, and they have invested in you. And together, on this journey, they've equipped you to do extraordinary things. You will forever be part of this institution. Remember, number one, belief, and live in that can-be paradigm. Some days it will be so hard, and you'll want to retreat to that woe is me, this is the way it is paradigm. Just keep the focus and believe in what can be. And then, when necessary, like the great ones, adjust. Yes, it can be uncomfortable. It can be unexpected turbulence. That's when growth happens, and that's what makes this journey so gratifying. Lastly, and most importantly, it's not about you. Strive to establish that unconditional trust with all those that surround you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, and all those you are hand in hand with on this journey of life. Remember, every day you're playing for something greater than yourself. Congratulations, graduates. May your journey be blessed.